All right, it's time. Today's the day for the game plan. 49ers back at home. The New England Patriots are coming to town, and John Chapman is going to break it down right here on the Wayne Breezy Show. Stick around, baby. All right, 49er faithful, I hope you guys are officially back. You're off the whatever suicide watch you were on because we lost 2 games in a row. This is the week. We're going to hear some touchdowns. John's going to talk about 49ers offense, Kyle Shanahan's game plan. I can't wait to hear this because you put out a tweet yesterday about the offensive scheme, and you said something, and I thought that was pretty cool. So let's talk about it. John, how you doing on this beautiful afternoon?
Man, it's middle of the week, I'm so thankful. This new schedule, Wayne and I have been on the same schedule for 3 years, 4 years? We do our shows like this, and we changed it up this year, and I'm loving it. And so there we go, McDonald's. And I got to say, you rhymed town with breakdown, and that was really cool. I really felt that earlier. And we went to the music, and I was like, I don't know, that was cool. So it's gonna be fun. I'm not sure which tweet you're talking about. I've been hate tweeting for a couple days now, so it could have been one of several.
Yeah, you said that everybody has their take on Kyle Shanahan, and you said something about it wasn't the scheme, the defense, and the special teams let us down.
Oh, well, okay, if you just look at a film standpoint of the offensive game versus, week 3, we lost, obviously, against the Rams. Kyle Shanahan was in his bag, man. The amount of adjustments that he did to his tendency breakers was excellent. You talk about the out and up to Juwan Jennings. I've never seen that route run in that formation ever for Kyle Shanahan, ever. The little bitty wrinkles that he adds consistently, that's kind of what makes him, if you remember back to Richard Sherman, and the main reason why he came to the 49ers, it was one of 2 things. He's like, man, playing against Kyle, you never knew, because he would always throw in these wrinkles. No matter how prepared you were, he would always catch you with your hand in the cookie jar. And that's exactly what he did to the Rams. The problem was the special teams and defense, which I'm not trying to give Kyle a pass there. I'm just saying an offensive play calling standpoint was pretty awesome. I thought it was really good without all those players. 420 yards without Debo, without CMC, without Kittle. That's impressive. Rams defense sucks. I get that, but the scheme was good. Colton McKivitz took away points, missed kick, all those other things. But I thought it was a really good called game, personally. And I might be in a minority there, but the film says, wow, over and over and over again.
We're going to start the show off with a nice little question from our brother Ron. He says, Breezy and John, does Moody take a little bit to gain confidence back after last week?
It's hard to put him back in those pressure situations. So, you go to week 1, he kicked 6 field goals, unbelievable. None of those were, really pressure, calling timeouts to freeze. You miss this, we're in trouble. None of that. Kickers, it's all upstairs. Yeah, he's got all the physical talent in the world. His composure seems great, but through, I don't know, what is this, 23 games we've had Jake Moody? Is that right? Mm-hmm. Man, those pressure situations are rough. Not great. He did hit the 2 in the Super Bowl. Those were major pressure situations. He did hit one in Detroit. That was major, but he also missed one in the Super Bowl. He also missed one versus Detroit. So you just got to keep getting him reps and let him be supported. I'm not the biggest kicker guy, but Jake Moody should be the kicker moving forward. I stand with that. You just got to keep getting through these humps, and hopefully the mental flip switch, something got to happen there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way I look at, football, I think we talked about this yesterday on your show, when it comes to kicking, it's really to supplement, the offense, really to add a little, it's like a bonus little point. Sometimes you're going to just have a great defensive game and you're going to have to rely on the kicker. And, when it comes to Jake Moody and his confidence, I don't know what it is about the pressure kicks in the NFL. In college, I'm a firm believer to say that none of that stuff matters. Like, whatever you did in college, you did in college, and it's gone.
Throw it out.
None of it matters. Once you get drafted, none of those accolades, none of those things you did matter. The tendencies. There's been players that I don't want to say that were bad because I don't think the NFL would allow bad players as far as skill set and stuff into the league. But it is what it is. But my point is, like, none of it matters how great you were, what school you went to. It's just when you get into a moment, and these are moments. Now, I've watched them kick in moments, but it's not the same as an NFL moment. So he's just going to have to keep kicking, right? Like, he's going to have to keep kicking, in my opinion, to get himself out of it. The good thing is I don't think he's in a rut. I mean, what is he, 8 for 9 on the year or 7 for 8 on the year? And he just happened to miss one of those.
One.
Just that the most important. I mean, it's crazy because you feel like they're all important, but that was the most important because that could have. I don't know if it would have sealed the deal, but it could have sealed the deal for the San Francisco 49ers. We could say that it would have. We would have been up by 10 points. But I look at everything in that scenario, bro. Like, it's so tough. Like, Kyle, great game plan. I thought my only issue with Kyle Shanahan is I understand you don't run against stack boxes, but it's Jordan Mason, and it's a different running back running against stack boxes. And if he's as creative, that's why I said the lack of creativity for me is what's happening to the 49ers, because sometimes the defenses just know the play. Yeah. Sometimes they just know it.
Well, he abandons. So, like, very similar to Jake Moody, Shanahan abandons the run in high-pressure situations repeatedly, right? So, like, if we're talking about tendencies or whatever, this is the ultimate Shanahan criticism is, man, it's a one-score fourth-quarter game. Run game's out the window. That's just who he is. Unless there's 6 minutes, which he did have 2 runs. Even Isaac Guerrero got a run in that 6-minute kill period. And then after that, it was just done. I mean, you get the ball with 2 minutes left and tie game. You use no clock. You use no rush attempts. You punt the ball terribly. Mitch Wisnowski has the worst punt he's maybe ever had. And then on top of it, they go down and score to win the game. Like, you could have ran the clock out and played for overtime, which I don't want him to do that, but just don't abandon the run. Everybody knew you were throwing it every single play, and McVay knew that.
But see, that's my thing. And that's why I had to come at Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, 420 yards is amazing, without all the weapons. But again, that's Kyle's genius of taking advantage of their weaknesses on defense. He saw where the weaknesses were. Brock, I want you to go this way. Brock went that way. But if you ran the ball and was a little bit less predictable, there's a possibility that other things would have worked out. It wouldn't have had to come down to Jake Moody's field goal. It wouldn't have had to come down to that play where Brock throws a nice little dime to Ronnie Bell. He drops it. It wouldn't have to come down to some of these plays. They got down to remember, the first field goal Moody made, they were in the red zone. But we ran it 3 times. Like 3 times, same way, -0 yards, negative yards, whatever. It's like, where's the creativity around the goal line? If you run it the first time and Jordan Mason gets stuffed, okay, let's try to run it the other way. If he gets stuffed again, okay, let's run something that, let's try something different. And that's my thing. I don't know if there's trust there or what, but how different you think we're going to have to be against these New England Patriots? Because this is a must-win game, right? You got to get to 500.
You got to. It's one of the least important games, probably the least important game left on the schedule. However, coming to a point after losing 2, you're at home finally for back-to-back home games. That's huge. I don't think it's quite – it feels like it's a must-win game, but at the same time, yeah, you don't want to be 1-3. Like, if the Niners lose this game, do I think they're not making the playoffs? No, I still think they're making the playoffs.
Facts, because it doesn't count.
Like, you win your division games, you're going to be in.
Right.
But, man, from a fan base, I mean, we dropped 3 last year, but that was after winning 5 in a row. And so, like, you had a buffer that was created to be okay. You were still in first place, I think. No, we dropped to second
We
place
dropped
for
to
like
second.
a quick minute.
Mm-hmm.
But man, we're in fourth place. We're in dead last of the NFC West.
But it's a weird dead last, right? Because it's so early. Dead last is dead last. But my point is, it's early, so it's like, oh shoot, we only played one game. To be like where other teams might have played more than one. Like we literally could have made the Rams dead last. All we had to do is beat them. They would have been 0-2, and their season would have been in jeopardy because they would have been 0-2 in the division. So their chances of winning the division, and that's the part of me with Kyle Shanahan. I'm like, dude, you had them by the neck, and you chose to let go of the chokehold. You can't let go of the chokehold. You're not going to go to prison for choking out the opposing team. It doesn't work like that in the NFL. Now, in real life, that's different. We're talking NFL. And that's my only issue, my only gripe. You abandoned something that you could have pounded the ground with. They couldn't stop the run. I know that we have 4 negative runs. I get it. I understand. But we were still getting chunks of yards on the ground. Most of the runs were 10 yards, 11 yards, 14 yards. So there was some explosive runs as well. But then there was the 6 yards, the 7 yards. And Mason averaged 4.1 yards per carry. And then you only gave him 19. He has to get minimum 25 carries. He's your bell cow.
Should be. And it was rough. And a lot of missed blocks.
A lot of missed blocks. Oh, my gosh.
Like, it's weird. Like, I understand the IU criticism, and like that's been out there, but man, I can't believe nobody's talking about like his whiff blocks on crucial third down plays, second down plays. Nobody's talking about that.
Probably because they're not subscribed to the Patreons
of
John Chapman, the 49ers Rush, and the
I don't
Wayne
like put
Breezy.
the negative out there though.
My point is, it has to get out there so that people can understand it. We might not put it all out here, but if you go to the Patreon where you actually get to watch the film, they'll hear the terms about the Brandon Ayuk whiff blocks and that Chris Conley, I'm going to block you all the way down till you get out of bounds type of block, and the Ronnie Bell blocks and the wide receivers blocking. Like Kyle Shanahan's wide receiving room is official when it comes to blocking. As far as catching, it's a whole nother conversation. Kyle Shanahan mentioned something about Jacob Conley. He said he's not there yet. What the f does that mean?
Just the consistency probably in the option reads.
Huh?
So, like, for example, this is all speculation based off of what Kyle said. Okay, so this is not my eyes. This is the only way I can interpret the coach speak that Kyle Shanahan brought up. 1 is blocking, 2 is option route. So, for example, let me try to make this as simple as possible. If you're running a stretch route, vertical, whatever, if you pass the corner and or safety and you can burn them deep, you stay deep. If you can't, you break it off at that 13 to 15 mark and you break back to the corner. That's called an option route. My only interpretation of what Kyle said is he's not reading those option routes correctly, which I have a hard time believing because they did that at Arizona as well. He was awesome in the preseason. He was awesome in training camp. So where did it go wrong? I kind of feel like Shanahan protected himself with that comment to throw somebody else under the bus, Cowing, because we've all seen Cowing be amazing. I really dislike that one. That one made me more mad than almost anything else.
So you feel like he was protecting Bell?
I feel like he was protecting Kyle Shanahan with his poor personnel choice. That's what I think. And I love Kyle. But
that was funny.
That one, no.
He just has to. If you have the guys available, my thing is you got to get him in there. Got to rotate him out.
And I kept telling everybody he ain't going to play. I was like, look, guys.
Oh, it's not the season. It's a rookie. It's a rookie.
I was like,
he's a
dude,
rookie.
He's not playing. He's got 0 offensive snaps.
0.
Like, 0 before the game. He had 0 after the game. They didn't even put him in. Like, I'm telling you, now maybe a change happens, but everybody's like, oh, we're cutting Bell. Guess what? Nope. One transaction took place. That was Tracy Walker III off the practice squad.
He's gone.
They ain't doing nothing.
Let's go. Let's have some fun with it. All right. Who would get more snaps in this game? Bell, Conley, Cowing.
It will go Conley, Bell, Cowing.
You think they're gonna? Okay, that's what they
Bell's
should
still
do.
Playing.
No. I think that's what they should do.
I don't think he should. I think Bell should be gone. But
yeah,
I think what they should do would be Conley and Cowing. Those should be the 2 guys. I would call up maybe Trent Taylor as my backup punt returner. He could play all 3 spots, or Tate Martin. But that's kind of what I would do. I know a lot of people calling for Terrace Marshall Jr. He plays the Ayuk role. So
Correct.
like, no.
You don't
need
need
to
him.
pull up somebody who plays the Debo
Debo
role.
role. Mm-hmm.
So
So
that would be Trent Taylor and Tamar.
what role is Ronnie Bell playing?
Ronnie Bell is playing the Debo role. He took almost all of those snaps in three
He-
wide receiver sets. He had 30 snaps. Conley had 20. Bell, and that's another thing that Bell brings that Shanahan loves. He knows all three wide receiver spots. Last year,
I
he was
didn't
the
see him
backup
playing the
Ayuk.
Debo. I didn't see him playing. He did. He on some snaps. So
On some snaps.
on the packages when Jawan Jennings wasn't on the field, right? They had Bell in the backfield, motioning out, splitting out, running the route, doing this, whatever. So you're right. You're
And I'll say this too. This was the most snaps I've ever seen Brandon Ayuk in the slot his entire
career.
Like, it was weird. There were some adjustments. And like, he did fine in the slot, but man, when Ayuk was out wide and they were in man coverage, dude got clamped repeatedly. Several different third downs, man coverage. Ayuk zero separation was the primary read several times, but Purdy moved off of him and went elsewhere. And then probably the worst Ayuk play of the whole thing isn't the drops. It was in there when they were in the red zone and he ran his route out of bounds and Jawan Jennings caught the touchdown.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, man. Ayuk had some great plays, great routes. It looked like Ayuk of old. The consistency in the run game, not there. The consistency in the pass game, not there. Like, he's just not there yet. He will be. And I love that there were the highlight plays there that everybody's kind of focusing on, and that's great. But, man, there were a lot of mental errors. Not sitting down in zone, keep running the route into coverage and making a contested catch when it didn't have to be. The behind the pass, the behind the back pass where he had to reach for it, that was 1,000% Ayuk's fault. It was zone, you sit down in space. And, man, you keep running your crosser. In zone, you sit down in space. He thought he was in man. Like, he read it wrong. Back to that Cowan statement, those are the things that come to mind whenever it's like, oh, he's just not ready. The mistakes, the MAs, missed assignments, those were plentiful for Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, separation, but consistency just not there yet.
All right, so we'll see what happens, man. Like, look, maybe that's the result of probably not being in camp, but that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. I mean, should he have been in camp? Yeah, to build chemistry, but you're not learning zone and man in camp. Like,
these are old things.
These are things like, and so maybe he misread it, and that was a mistake.
And you move forward, and hopefully those mistakes don't keep compounding. That's the issue, right? Yeah. So, like, mentality is a big deal. We talked about with Jake Moody. I think it applies to Ronnie Bell. You get in your head sometimes, and I don't know. We'll see. We just got to see how it plays out.
I think what I would like Kyle Shanahan to do is find a way to put these players that struggle with certain things, because like for Ronnie Bell, like he plays one of the roles better than the other two. Can he play all three? Yeah. But it looked like, he's more of get the ball in his hand quick and then let him make a play, opposed to running the route and having him sit there and make the catch. Like that, I promise you, he's not used to that. Will he get used to that? He better get used to that, because if not, he's not going to play much in the NFL. But I already know that's not his game, because that's not how he came up. It's not the college he came out. I know. Trust me.
He was that Julian Edelman role.
He was the Julian Edelman of the old Michigan. It was get the ball in his hand and let him make the play, because Michigan didn't run that type of an offense. They didn't have a quarterback. And so now he has a quarterback. How much of him, how much is he practicing with Brock? He's got to be if he's...
Dude had the most reps in training camp, like, and it wasn't even close. That dude was playing everywhere.
But is it with
Pearsall
Brock?
Out, Cowing out.
There's difference. There's a difference.
He was out there with the ones.
He was out there with the ones. So like now he has to just figure out how to build that some type of.
I think the chemistry. I think it's just upstairs.
How?
He's running a good route. He's blocking well. It's hitting him in the hands.
How is it upstairs? Okay. Well, yeah. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just like, how are you a wide receiver and then you can't catch.
What would you say you do
Yeah,
here?
What would you say you do here? You have one responsibility, literally.
Yeah.
He has one.
Oh man.
With
Awful
Kyle,
state
he
about
has many, but the first responsibility isn't to get open, it's to catch. Now, I remember in training camp, he had all the good contested catches, but then in preseason, he couldn't catch a cold. And that's when it started to get up in his head. And so, do you keep going to him? Do you keep giving him opportunities?
No.
Yeah, well, hopefully Kyle Shanahan thinks the way John Chapman does.
Well, the good news is if Kittle comes back, which I do, no insider information, obviously, I assume he is going to, they're saying they anticipate him coming back, but never believe the Niners when they talk injuries ever. But if he is back, you stay at 12 personnel,
Oh, man,
21 personnel.
Yeah, man.
And that's just all you do.
That's it. Well, it was good seeing the two running back sets out there, and the two running backs being Kyle Juszczyk and either Jordan Mason or Kyle Juszczyk and either Isaac Guerrero. I think we were in 11 personnel, but not a lot. I think I saw one running back, one tight end out there. It was Eric Sauber, and then we had the 3 wide receiver sets. But that 12 personnel with Kittle back, and I like what I'm seeing from Eric Sauber in the passing game.
Right.
That could be something dangerous, and a lot of teams are doing that. And if you look at the remaining teams, especially the ones up and coming, they struggle where? In the linebacking field. And that's where the 12 personnel could come in and help you out a lot, because now you're forcing their linebackers to play coverage. Let's talk about the New England Patriots linebackers, because we spent a lot of time kind of reminiscing on this game. But it was important because John, I'm sorry, one more comment about the game. The only reason why we lost this game wasn't because of the Jake Moody field goal miss. Wasn't because Ronnie Bell didn't catch it. It was because of stupid penalties at the worst opportune times, which negated like scoring, even defensively. The only reason why I just finished the film, it's on the Patreon. The only reason why Matthew Stafford is even a thought in anybody's process of their mind is because he just threw the ball down the field.
Yeah, Nick Sorensen telegraphs coverage early, especially in third downs. He knew we were in man coverage. He recognized, man, we have our worst coverage linebacker on their guy. We're just going to throw it up deep. It killed us. We telegraphed that the whole time. And big reason why we are the worst third down defense in the NFL is we break the huddle, and you could be like, oh, it's cover 4. It's very simple. They're bringing 4. Or, oh, it's cover 1. And so, like, they are able to diagnose this with ease. And Matt Stafford, I mean, come on, man. That dude, that's what he does.
That's what he does, John.
That's what he does. And
that's what he does. You want him. You want him dinking and dunking, broski. You want him to. Why? Because now you have the ability and the speed to make the tackle. Because we went from not giving up the explosive plays to downfield to the last two, the Vikings and the Rams, giving up an explosive play downfield. I would say it was busted communication in the Vikings game, and in this game, they just took advantage of the weakness. Go back to the next pass interference call. Not the pass interference. Go to the last explosive play, the 50-yard bomb. I was watching the play, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, Ward was in zone, but he had to switch to man, but he did it too late.
Yeah, we do that a lot too. That's another negative we're not good at. Against bunch trips, that 3-by-1 set that they motioned into. We like to show zone, but we're bluffing zone showing man, which is always terrible. You never ever want to do that. Okay. And so now you're in trouble because you just put him in a bad position. Ward ain't fast. And
that's on the coach, bro.
It is. Well, guess what? Here's the issue. They have one of the fastest players in the NFL in Tyquan Thornton, who hasn't been good, but that is all that he does. And guess what? They run a bunch 3-by-1 formation. I guarantee you, we've shown it in 2 weeks. We had Jalen Naylor, and Tutu Atwell, and now you got Tyquan Thornton. Like
we struggle against speed, and if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna not be able to adjust. I'm just a firm believer. If we're going to talk about benching a guy like Ronnie Bell because he drops a pass, why are we not benching Mooney Ward because he gives up a pass?
Because Mooney Ward's got more of a track record.
Bro. This ain't this is
and I keep all pro last year.
I understand that, but my thing is I don't even want to bench him. I want to match him up. I think that's my thing. It's more me getting at Nick Sorensen because you have to know your personnel out there on the football field. And so if you're going to bluff, cool beans, fine, bluff it. But if you don't have the right matchup
you put him at a deficiency. This is the problem with the bluff is you're putting him in a zone spot lined up 7-3 outside. Now you've got to turn and run. So you don't have the traditional 9-yard cushion, inside leverage, whatever else. So not only are you putting him at a deficiency with the scheme, but also the alignment. That's the problem. And that's also why we lost the fake punt. It's because we bluffed an all-out punt block. So we took our linebacker, George Odom, who obviously plays safety, but in the punt coverage, he plays linebacker. You took him out of his spot to be able to go over the top of that gap exchange. And so we're putting our players at a deficiency. One of the number one things as a coach, you have to put your players at the best possible advantage to win the game. We are doing the opposite on special teams and defense.
That's the Morgan Freeman gif.
I see it. I see
Clap right there. I'm clapping hard as hell right now. You don't need no sound effect. We can use my hands. Pause. That's my issue. It's happening on offense, and it's starting to really happen on defense, and it's happening actually all 3 games. We just beat the Jets. Adjustments. Nick, Staley, they got to sit down. They got to figure it out. I'm with you. I'm not benching a player like Mooney Ward or anybody.
But he's been terrible.
You're the worst.
I know I am.
I'm with you. But in my opinion, what I would do is if I know that, you gotta find a way to get the rookie more into the game. You put him in there on the goal line. He made a mistake. He grabbed, but it was a hell of a fucking play. He still broke the pass up, and the grab didn't help him break up the pass. Like it was a quick grab, hook to the arm, and then he still jumped the route and tipped the pass. That boy's gonna be that young fella gonna be a problem.
He'll be starting next year. He'll be starting this year. He should be the number 3 corner right now.
Isaac Yiadom is not it. I don't know what you saw in Isaac Yiadom. I don't know if he's slow understanding, grasping the concepts of what the responsibilities, because now it sounds like it's a responsibility thing and knowing what to do because we're going to show this, we're going to do this. Just listening to you, that I feel like that's the issue. There was a play where he got the pass interference call, right? And there was a play where he gave up a 34-yard explosive play down the field because he on one side ran the motion, so he was in man, and then he just forgot. He took the right angle and stopped. Yeah. He stopped. There was no rub. He just stopped and then tried to pick up the speed. He was burnt by then.
Yeah, he hasn't been great. There's no doubt about that. I like his physicality. I like his competitiveness, but it's just not enough so far. And so I like him way more than a lot of guys we've had at that 3-corner spot, but he hasn't been good. Has not been good. Him and Ward have been bad. There's no doubt about it. Like you could say whatever you want. My thing with Yiadom is he's just always where he's supposed to be until last week. If you get beat and you're in phase, meaning you could touch the hip of the wide receiver, like that's frustrating, but you can live with that. Right. Whenever you're out of phase and getting beat and missed assignments, that's huge. That's what you can't live with.
I like some of these takes. Kali, my brother Kali's in the building. Listen, man, we're going to need Twitter, X, whatever your name is, to figure it out. You made a mistake. Fix my brother Kali's account right now. We're streaming live on there. Fix it right now. He's one of the good ones. He ain't do nothing wrong. Make sure you fix his account. Guys, if you see a friend request from a new account, it's my man Kali, so make sure you go ahead. We're going to work on getting his account back, all right? He says, what about Mustafa whiffing on the punt return coverage?
Okay, this one, I saw this get put out. I think it was Barrows that puts it. He's a gunner. So you have 2 gunners on the outside, usually personal protector or your log snappers would too. They do not break down. Their job is to attack the outside number, outside shoulder, outside hip, whatever your reference point is, full speed without breaking down. That's not his job. Their job is to force the punt returner to step up in between the 2 gunners, and then your umbrella wave, your first and second one, they're the ones that get that. So, like him flying full speed, And missing that tackle's not on him. That's what he's supposed to do as the outside gunner. The problem was it was a line drive punt, and your outside gunners, Renardo Green and Malik Mustafa, did their job. But because it was a line drive punt, it was a terrible snap from Tabor Pepper first. Mitch panicked. He line drived it. So your umbrella protection that's supposed to be there, your first wave at 5 to 8 yards right after the catch, whenever the punt returner stepped up, nobody was there. There wasn't enough hang time. It was like 3.8 seconds. Again, I break all this down on the Patreon. It was a bad kick. Your gunners did fine, actually. The protection just got there late. And then you had 3 guys doubled up in the same one. Eric Saubert, terrible play. You had the bad snap from Tabor Pepper and bad coverage from Tabor Pepper. And then a couple loafs. DFF was loafing on that play. It was bad. But actually, that was probably Malik's best plays of the whole game, to be honest.
Oh, my God. Are you in my head? Are you like, this is like Herman's Head? Remember that TV show, Herman's Head?
Yes. Was that Howie Mandel? Is that who that was? Who was
I don't know. I don't know. But I remember Herman's Head. Bro, I was about to say, Malik, here's the thing, though. I'm okay with his mistakes. He's a fucking rookie. I can live with any rookie or even a second-year player. I can live with these guys making these mistakes because they're still trying to work themselves in. They're going to make mistakes, right? Here's my issue. The guys that are veterans that have been around, they're pissing me off. Malik gave up the touchdown to Kyron Williams. I don't know if anybody understand or saw what happened. Now, listen, Malik, you a big hitter, bro. Love it. But if you lead with the hit, the running back gonna cut you, and he got cut. He led with the hit. If he would have connected to Kyron Williams might have been chasing stars. Unfortunately, Kyron saw him lead, and next thing you know, Malik's going one way, sidestep the other way, touchdown. That was one of the rushing touchdowns. So I need him to be more aware that these aren't regular collegiate style running backs that are looking to come and truck you, whatever like that. Nah, they making business decisions in the NFL, young fella. He's gotta just change that up a little bit. You know what I mean? Other than that, I thought his last game was better, but
he's getting better. He's still not ready for defensive snaps.
No, it's unfortunate.
He's been a liability on a lot of special teams plays. The sad thing is, everybody like targets him for that one play, and it's like, actually, yeah, you want him to make the tackle, but you tell that gunner, do not break down full speed. As long as he steps up inside of you and the other gunner, we are set. And that took place. It just, the coverage wasn't there because of the low line drive punt. So
it just sounds like a more of a coordinating issue than it does, because all he's doing is what his coach is telling him to do at this point. You know what I mean? So, like I said, give me more Renardo Green.
Yes, he's ready. Malik's not. He is ready.
Yeah, give me more Renardo Green. 100%. And it's not a shot at Ward. It's a matchup thing. If it's speed, I'd rather see the speed on the speed. I think that makes logic sense.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
Oh, we don't match.
We don't match. I wish we did.
Well,
I wish we did.
I'd see. We can.
We can. It's simple.
Okay.
It's very simple. And whatever certain wide receiver, Tyquan Thornton comes to the game. What's his number? I think it's 11.
Whatever it is, he's fast. So he's like
11.
Marquise Goodwin fast, but
he's
taller
4.3
and
speed.
Yeah,
I think he was 4.27 actually. He was one of those Baylor track guys.
Yeah.
And so when you see 11 break the huddle or be in the huddle, I think he has 80 snaps in 3 games. Like he's like their number 4 or 5 wide receiver. But so was Tutu Atwell. He was that same guy. And so whenever you see 11 in the thing, you're saying Demo, you're going with 11. Renardo, you're going with 11. Like that's just what it's so simple. It's not difficult, but the 49ers don't do that.
We'll get to some more Q&A toward the end of the show. I want to get to John's game plan, but this is one of the greatest comments we've ever seen in our entire lives.
That's very kind.
Of doing this show. Joe Griffin, thank you so much. I got to give you a round of applause for this comparison. You have no idea. These two men were pillars. And I'm going to be honest.
They raised us, man.
There you go. And John Madden and Pat Summerall, they're the reason why I do what I do, man. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, it was listening to them on national television in the broadcast. This is why I play Madden every year. And I wish Madden, and I know it's hard, but with AI, get these guys' voices back in the game, please. I don't want to hear anybody else but Madden and Pat Summerall. I don't. But thank
They
you
make
for
me
that.
happy. It's just weird, the nostalgia. I'm wearing the Blitz T-shirt.
Yes,
You know
you
what I
are.
mean? Like,
Oh, wait.
I got it going, and so like
No
that's.
blitz, but
There we go.
I
We got the
a
Rush
rep.
Road trip in the
I got a
house.
rep. This is a couple years ago, but I got a rep. You
That's
know
my
what I'm
favorite
saying?
shirt we ever did. That's
Yeah,
my
I stole it from
favorite
you.
Shirt.
That's why you don't
did
have it
steal
anymore.
Hey,
It became my favorite shirt when I seen it in the suitcase, and now shouldn't have it in the suitcase. But
right.
I get it. Guys, use the promo code SFBreezy. Go to www.residency.com. I'm rocking one of the silverback joints, man, from Trent Williams. I don't know if the faithful feeling Trent Williams right now.
My foam trucker hat. This is like my favorite hat. It's the lightest, most comfortable hat
It's the foam, bro. This is foam too. This is foam too. I'm a fan of the foam. I don't want to put anything on my head other than foam, and it's got to be trucker style, where the brim comes already bent. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I'm gonna be driving trucks soon at some point. I got to do it once in my life. Choo, choo. All right, John. Let's get to this game plan, man. Look, the Niners are favored by 10 points, bro. Like I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I don't because listen. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to shut up for about 20 minutes, okay? The Niners should have thine own way with the Patriots. But what happens is the Niners don't take advantage of other teams' weaknesses like for a long time. Like they'll play. It's like a cat and mouse. You ever watch a real cat and a real mouse? And a cat will catch the mouse, but it doesn't kill it. It just plays with it. And I feel like that's the Niners. They play cat and mouse. They play with these teams, and next thing you know, at some, I don't know if they watch Tom and Jerry, but Jerry always finds a way to win, bro. And we gotta stop letting Jerry find a way to win. 2 of our losses is because we let Jerry win. Why are we playing cat and mouse? Their quarterback is Jacoby Brissett. He is not a scrambler. He's a pocket guy. I'm sorry. Let's dial up some blitzes. We need to blitz 40% of the time. If we need to get home, we need to find a way to blitz 40% of the time. I don't care who's back there. They don't have the receivers. I'm shutting up now because I'm getting into your game plan. John, break it down offensively. How are we attacking their defense, which is a top 10 defense in the league too, by the way? I want people to know that. They bring the pain over there.
It's good. Like their defense is good. They're very sound. It's funny because whenever I'm going through the tape this morning, it reminds me of a Brian Flores defense, but like without the spiciness and without like the excitement. But they fire zones, overload blitzes. You got a 5-man front. They run a 3-4 multiple front look. So in nickel, they're the 4-2-5. In base, they like to do the traditional 3-4. But they're moving so much before the snap that they're trying to be exotic. Shout out to Araceli. She's incredible. Thank you. She says, I don't know about Sunday's game versus Patriots. They should have beat the Vikings and Rams, but they didn't. But I'm not sure about them beating the Patriots. They should beat the Patriots. They should. They're at home.
Other 2 games are on the road.
Yeah, I mean, Patriots got to travel a long way, but they got a mini bye, so they've had since Thursday off.
So they're well rested, is what John is saying.
We will play, I think, 7 times teams at a rest disadvantage to us. That's just normal, sadly. But back to kind of what they do. The defense is solid. It's not good. They don't have stars really anywhere besides Christian Gonzalez. That's their best player, their cornerback, and he hasn't been elite, but he follows the best player on offense. He's probably going to follow Ayuk. I do not expect I do not expect a good Ayuk game this week either, because Christian Gonzalez is better, in my opinion. I think he's a top 5 corner, and he does very, very well to kind of eliminate a lot of quality wide receivers. So we'll see what happens there. Now, running the ball wise, they're pretty good. They're 5th against the rush, which you wouldn't expect. You just got to stick with it, man. You got to stay run. The thing that makes me most excited about this game, Wayne, is their offense has 0 pizzazz. They're the worst offense in the NFL. Stop me if you've heard that before.
They didn't play us yet.
That's kind of the difference, because if they switch around, but what's crazy is, okay, their best player is Ramondre Stevenson.
That's it. There's nothing else. I'm trying to do my threats, and it's Stevenson and Stevenson again and again.
He's got 15 missed tackles forced,
He's
seven
good.
10-plus yard rushes, but 3 fumbles. Now you compare him to Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason has 19 missed tackles forced and 9 10-plus yard carries with no fumbles. So, like, even their best player we have better than, and they don't throw the ball deep. They've completed 0 passes over 20 yards. Your explosive play breakdown is going to be as short as God could be next week. The only thing, and the threat is Tyquan Thornton, who has not been good, but we struggle with speed wide receivers. So the 49ers have probably, I think, the biggest issue of the defense this year is how much cover 1 we're doing. That's where you have a single high safety, and you can blitz out of this. The 49ers don't. Instead, what we do is called a man under, where everybody's manned up and we leave Fred Warner in the middle of the field shallow, and then we have a safety deep, usually Talanoa Hufanga since he's returned. But the problem is that leaves Devontae Campbell in man. That leaves Isaac Yadam in man. That leaves Jair Brown in man. Those 3 guys have been absolutely bullied 3 games in man situations. That's
I take my
not
chances.
Their strengths.
I take my chances. This is the week you take your chances. This is the week you take your chances with that, because my thing is you get Jacoby Brissett's ass down by any means necessary. Rushing 4 ain't it. Rush 5. Rush. You got to figure out how to generate the pressure. If he moves out of pocket, that's great. He's not accurate. They can't do anything. The thing is, when he has time, though, and if his receivers get open, he's going to be able to throw the ball, and it's going to be a big gain. And we're going to be like, why the hell couldn't the Patriots do this against any other team? That's my issue when it comes to this defense. And that
we don't blitz.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I said instead of playing this man under bullshit. Sorry.
Blitz.
Yeah, like
cover 1,
up.
every team in the NFL, when they run cover 1, they're bringing 5 or 6.
Put Jair asses, Brown asses back, and the single high safety, and let Talanoa Hufanga say, "I'm back, mother." That's what we need to do.
I'm with you. But we've blitzed 7 times a game, all 3 games. That's all we do. So we run cover 1, which puts us at a disadvantage without the blitz added onto it. We're the only team in the NFL that does that. And it's absolutely just frustrating as hell because, yes, I'm with you. We should be blitzing more with our lack, but you can blitz and still be in a zone. Nick Sorensen just has this chip in his brain that says, we've got to run cover 1 man. We've got to run cover 1 man. And that's not who we have been. We've always had in our playbook, and Kyle even said, well, these are the same coverages we've always run. No. We're running like 33% cover 1. We have never, ever, ever done that in the history. Not even in Steve Wilkes blitzed 14, 15 times. That did not exist.
My boy Steven Draper, man, put this out there. And I'm thinking, like, I don't think tight ends this year, for the first time, I can say that in 3 games, the 49ers have not allowed tight ends to have their way. But let's go back. Tyler Conklin didn't do anything week 1. I don't even know who the tight ends are for the Minnesota Vikings. And week 3, I don't remember Colby Parkinson catching anything. Like, he was a good run blocker. So they've been handling the tight ends. Now they're going to deal with old man Henry, who's coming off the worst game of his career last week on that short week.
And Austin Hooper.
Are you concerned about the tight ends? Especially you talked about guys in coverage. Are you concerned?
Yeah, that's my concern is who's Jair Brown on? Who is Devontae Campbell on? Those are my concerns. In man coverage, that's not their strengths. And so if they're going to find, the hook to curl zone open against, our cover 4 drop or a cover 3 drop, I don't care about that. Rally tackle, get them their 7-8 yard gain. That's not my concern. My concern is we go out there and man, and you got big 5'8" or 5'9". What number's Campbell? 5'9", right?
5'9".
5'9", yeah. Whatever he's at, that's the concern. That is the concern. Fred Warner can cover freaking number 1 wide receivers, and I would not be concerned.
I just want to remind everybody, though, that's not Campbell's strength, but I know he's asked to do it. Like that, he has to find.
Don't ask him to do it. Don't ask him. Blitz him. Blitz him. He's a liability in coverage. Blitz the guy that's a liability in coverage. Why is this difficult? This is so simple. Don't ask guys to do what they can't do. That's your
Devondre
fault.
Campbell is a menace around the line of scrimmage. He's great in run defense, and he's a menace around the line. Why are we changing his role here? Why?
Didn't he have, like, you look at his career?
I'm telling you, bro, it's around the line of scrimmage. That's where he tees off.
He's got 9.5 career sacks. Not great.
It's not about him getting sacks. It's about him getting pressure. So my thing is to knock off the timing of whoever their quarterback is. I'm more worried if they bench his ass, and now we got to deal with this mobile Drake May, like a guy that can extend the play. The guy
Drake
that
May's awesome. He's really good. He's really good.
Just saying, they could throw a curveball at us that we're not prepared for. Oh, this is the best freaking game plan show we've ever had, because there's players we should be able to obliterate the New England Patriots. Apologize to all my Patriot fans out there that I'm friends with, but come on, man. Y'all know y'all wasn't supposed to win any games this year.
No, they weren't. And Vegas hates them more than anybody. Like this 10-point spread is a slap in the face. Like, both these teams are 1-2. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is.
My man Kelt says these guys are missed. They're old but missed.
Jimmy Ward got torched last week, but I miss him. I
don't think he would be torched in this defense. Let's just keep it a buck. Like, I feel like Ward playing safety here would help out way more than the safeties that we have. I love our safeties, but they're not safe. They're box
I think
guys.
If we had Ward, he'd be our nickel, and then we'd keep Demo outside.
Absolutely, that would make him play nickel. But my thing is, anyway, they're not here, but I do miss him. I'm not even going to start.
Shark, I miss the Shark Blitz.
Miss the Shark.
So fun, man.
Yeah. Only one Shark.
There's only one. Now, I will say this. You know, you're looking at the schedule for the Patriots. They got us, then Miami next week, then Texans, then at Jacksonville, then Jet. Like, their bye week's not until week 14. Like, I don't know when the hell they're going to make this switch. They're going to at some point.
It could be in this game.
I mean, they've had extra time.
It could be in this game. You're right. They've had more time to prepare because of their long week. And Drake May got...
line is dog trash, man.
Drake May
beating this year.
Drake May got snaps last week.
He did. They were
on Thursday night.
And they ran out the clock on themselves. You remember they were driving at the end, and like they literally ran out the clock in the red zone.
I thought I was the only one that watched these Thursday night football games.
I had what's it called? I had like a 16-point teaser on them, and if they just kicked a field goal like Sean McVay's bitch ass would.
Remember he did that?
Yeah,
he did that against us.
I hate Sean McVay. He's so good.
I know. That's why I was pissed. Never mind. We're not talking about that team. Xavier Redmond says Campbell was brought in as a run stopper. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
D. Winters, who's been dealing with an injury, and any updates on this ankle injury that he resurfaced?
It happened on special teams, and you saw him like immediately just grab his like leg and like
think it's an
start
ankle
rolling
sprain.
Around. Yeah, it was ankle something. I mean, he reached down, grabbed it, rolled around in pain on tape in the middle of the play. So like, we'll have to see. It seemed like they were trying to get back to this area where he could be out there. But you know what? Maybe I'll say this, and I feel gross. Maybe against pass-heavy teams and pass-heavy situations, you put DFF out there. I'd take that over.
He's a better pass coverage linebacker than he is run guy. You know what I mean? Way better.
And I don't think Campbell's bad at coverage. He's just bad at man. He's just bad at man.
Right.
Like, he covers the zone.
Zone. He covers the area. There was a play where he covered the zone. Did you watch him kind of like strafe? Like to the side,
he had the RB.
He had the RB, the LB RB, and he was like, "Throw it to him. I dare you."
He's got the length. He's bigger than Fred.
Do you see how big he is? That's what a linebacker's supposed to look like. I'm sorry, I'm so used to Fred. Even Drake Greenlaw's not that size. Like
Greenlaw's, he's short,
right?
stocky,
but this dude is like tall and like I don't think we've had a linebacker like that since
I don't know. Maybe Taquillo?
I was getting ready to say, like, that was a big linebacker. No neck. Looked like he should have been wearing the Legion of Doom spikes because his last name is Spikes. Oh, man, we've had some linebackers here in San Francisco. John, so offensively, you talked about, like, who do you see being the guy Jennings was the guy last week. I believe that the Patriots are going to try to find a way. You didn't talk about the Patriots safeties. Defensively, the Patriots are gems. They have 2 safeties, Kyle Duggar, and they have Jabril Peppers.
Maybe
and
2 of the most athletic safeties in the
2
NFL,
of the most so you got to be careful where you're throwing this ball, especially in the middle of the field, because they got range. Right? They got speed and they got range, and they can jump and they can make plays if a ball is thrown slightly underthrown or slightly overthrown or just in the area where they're just lingering around. That's kind of like where they live. You didn't talk about their other corner that I think is an absolute dog, and Jack Jones.
We loved him.
Me and you, we wanted to draft his ass, but he was a
Jonathan Jones.
Jonathan Jones. My bad. Yeah. Jonathan Jones. Dog. Now.
And Marcus Jones, you remember him too?
That's their nickelback.
Yeah.
Listen,
we were both super high on him coming out of Houston. I remember that draft talk.
That would have been our special teams ace. Our never mind. I don't even want to get into that.
We're both just like, that's okay. That's okay. We got 3rd-round running backs. We're solid.
My point is their defense is solid, and so offensively, are you still trying to get? I mean, hopefully George Kittle plays in this game because it kind of helps soften the zone a little bit. So, how are you attacking other than running the ball? Like, what else are we going to be able to do? They're going to line 7 in the box. You're going to see 6 to 7, 8 in the box multiple times in this game. What are we doing other than running the ball?
More play action, which we had a lot of success with. Against the Vikings, we ran 3 play action plays. Against the Rams, we ran 9. I want that 9 to 12 range. There we go. Xavier in the house. Appreciate that, man. I expect more play action this game. I'm with you. Like, you've got to change the tempo of the defensive line because, again, Keon White, I don't know if he's going to play this game. He left the game injured. He's one of the top 5.
I forgot about Keon White.
Georgia Tech, Yellow Jackets.
Met him at the Senior Bowl, bro.
He's a monster player, man. He was teammates with Jordan Mason. Now, he is incredible. Is he playing? Today's injury report is going to be huge because he's going against Colton McKivitz. That's an issue. So I want to chip. I want to play action. I want to bootleg.
12.
And I want to take advantage of the middle of the field. Brock
12 personnel.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. So much 12 personnel. Please, 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 please. And
but you need Kittle to make that work. I don't think Jake Tongas.
He blocks well, but that's about it.
You're not going to get anything offensively from him.
He was our best blocker last week of any offensive lineman or tight end. He was consistently great blocking. I mean, he's just a blocker. He's Charlie Warner. That's all he can do.
How do the Niners open up some more? There was an Eric Saubert play that was a check down play, and I'm all for the tight end checkdowns. Like,
his hands are legit. He's not going to do anything after the catch.
I don't care. It's 7 yards, easy.
Take it.
Just take it.
And so, like, the middle of the field's going to be open. They got Raekwon McMillan and Savai. Those are their 2 linebackers. Neither one too good in coverage.
Yep.
That's where you can take advantage. They're much more run stuffers. And so that middle of the field's going to be open. Now, they're going to be in a lot of single high safety looks where Duggar's going to be down in the box. He likes to thump. He likes to hit. He likes to be on those tight ends. But that's fine. Mesh concepts, crossers, deep end breakers. Shanahan does it better than anybody.
Jesus Christ.
Those will be open. You just got to consistently do that and get protection on the right side of the offensive line. So chip block, whoever's coming off the right, whether it's Uche, your Michigan boy, or Keon White if he does play, and then just peel.
They got 2 good pass rushers, bro. They got 2 good pass rushers. They do. That's why I said their defense is what is mostly the threat on their team. Offensively, if you could take away Ramondre Stevenson and be mindful they have Antonio Gibson. Now, I know people feel like we've seen him before, we've taken him out before, but he's still good. He can be a threat in the pass catching game. So
one
it's
of the
still
best green running backs in the NFL,
bro.
And we struggle with that.
We struggled last week with that too. Ugh. My thing is I'm expecting that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm expecting that, I'm hoping that the Niners defense is expecting that. And we didn't even talk about, and I don't want to throw shade. We're not talking about a key loss to the defensive line. So our defensive line is going to be without Javon Hargrave for the remainder of the season. So, we talked a little bit about on your show yesterday, like who's replacing his reps? Because are we stuffing it with run? Are we putting a pass rushing specialist inside? What are we doing at that technique on the front?
There's got to be some type of transaction. The 49ers have to add somebody. They just have to. Now, if we look at just kind of our roster and who we got on our practice squad, we added here. I'm pulling it up now. Sorry. I want to make sure we get this
Evan
right.
Anderson would be a guy, or T.Y. McGill.
But he can't come back yet, can he?
Evan Anderson, he's on the practice squad. Why can't he come back?
Yeah, he needs to be elevated. And
That's what I
assume
mean.
He will be.
Him and T.Y. McGill. Those are the tackles.
Not T.Y. McGill. Not T.Y. McGill.
I'm just telling you.
That's probably who they will elevate, but I do not want to see. Every time I see T.Y., I just get sick to my stomach. I'm just like,
this is not it, bro. He's just not it.
He used to be, and he's a snap eater, right? Like you can put him out there for 12 to 14 snaps, and like he'll be out there, but it's not going to be anything positive. I want Kevin Givens to go off. And look, you can't use that as an excuse. The best player on the Patriots team, offense or defense, is Christian Barmore. He ain't going to be playing this year either.
That's true.
And
well, I'm not using it as an excuse.
I know you're not.
I'm saying that they're going to try to take advantage of that.
Yeah, they should run the ball up the middle. That's what they should do.
And we talked about Ramondre Stevenson, and so this could be a game where, he's coming off a game which was like a low game. He had a fumble in that game. I know because he's on my fantasy football team, and I'm like, motherfucker, you got one carry. You could have just. I needed the points, and you
ain't getting one carry this week.
They're going to feed him. They're going to use their rotation of their running backs. I'm so glad we do this show. It just opens up stuff so much more for me. It makes it a little bit more clear on some of the things and my concepts and the things that I be thinking. John, you're amazing, bro. Like, you're
so
amazing.
Fun, dude. We're just little kids listening to Pat Samaral playing Blitz.
John Madden. This is John Madden here.
I wish I could do impersonations, man. That Pat Samaral voice is just.
I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing until I get me my own Madden Breezy bus.
Oh, there you go.
So that way I can drive. I hate flying.
Yeah, you don't need to fly ever again. That's bad for you.
Thank you. And I'm gonna be the next John Madden. That's my goal. Listen, we got a bunch of shows for you, John. What you got going on in your channel, man?
Man, we're just going to keep making content. I'm going to keep breaking down film over on our Patreon. I'm doing a show with Ant and 49ers Cutback tomorrow.
Ooh,
and then we've got Ant's great, man. He's such a good dude. And then we got our preview episode where I do our scouting report. That's going to be out Friday or Saturday. Haven't decided yet. But just keep talking Niners, keep having a good time, keep breaking down film. I don't know what else to do.
I appreciate you. Jack says, I need us to stop with all the damn penalties. And we're talking offensively, defensively, special teams, even special teams getting penalties.
Everywhere.
It's crazy.
You're either coaching it or letting it happen.
Yeah. Mike says, why no roster moves yet? They had a spot last week, and they'll have two. What are we doing?
It's weird. I don't know. You get no advantage by not having those filled. You could promote people to your active. Like you could call up Evan Anderson right now, and that benefits him. He gets more money, all those things. Then you could add somebody to practice squad. I have no idea. Maybe they're working a trade. I doubt. Maybe they're I don't know. It makes no sense.
I agree. Nigel says, did the penalties make the defense look worse? If you took those two costly penalties away, how would you assess the defense? And the two costly ones are the PI calls, and then there was also the holding, which gave them a first down by Renardo Green. So the defense only had 3 penalties.
Yeah, and you held them to under 300 yards. Like you were where you should be. The problem was when it mattered most, they kind of didn't do their job. So they came at the worst opportune times. Stop me if you've heard that before. And you couldn't get off the field on third downs against a completely broken team missing 8 starters. And you couldn't do that. So that was kind of the issue. But yeah, overall, yardage wise, cool. No worries. But you add on the special teams mistakes. You add on the Colton McKivitz fumble. You add on the missed field goal. All those things, all those just came at the wrong time. They all came at the wrong time.
It's like the Niners find ways to beat themselves. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to take anything away from what the Rams did because they capitalized
They did.
off of our mistakes, which is a part of football. Like, that's what you do. Team makes mistakes, you capitalize off of it, you put up points. They got the ball, good field position. They also had to create some of their field position, but you do get these kind of calls, and it helps out a lot. It's a lot easier to score from the 1 yard line than it is from the opposing 1 yard line, right? Like, you're like, it's so much easier. So like, do the penalties make the defense look worse? In my opinion, they did, because they were explosive penalties. I hate to say it, they were part of my explosive plays that the defense gave up, because you're talking 46-yard penalty, 34-yard penalty. Like, these are explosive penalties. And you can see that Brock was trying to get some of those. We got one in this game. We got one called on it. DeMarcus Elliott. Breezy, do you think Pearsall makes the catch that Bell dropped? I think any football player.
I think Wayne Breezy makes that catch.
Absolutely. 100%. And I would have jumped. Yeah, I had to watch yesterday. You have to watch yesterday's show.
No crisscrossing it, man. Come on.
Slick 68. Do y'all like Kyle instructed Brock to not, do you think Kyle instructed Brock to not throw to Ayuk and go to Jennings? He's talking about that one play
where he busted it.
Yes.
No. So like, here's the issue with that play. So Ayuk, they're in zone coverage. Safety rotates down when he wasn't supposed to be. Ayuk was supposed to run a deep curl, like that kind of 12 to 15 yards curl. But the safety came up on like a blitz, flat read, whatever. So you go to the void. That's the right call. The problem is that's not the play call. So you see Brock, like, what the hell? Like, I really do wish Ayuk would have said, dude, call for the freaking ball so that we know you're still going, because he's supposed to break off his route. He's supposed to break off his route and come back underneath. That's what the play call is. So you see Brock like waiting, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, I'm just going somewhere else. I don't think the fact that Brandon Ayuk was the primary read on the first and second, third down of the game, I don't think he was trying. I mean, dude had 10 targets.
No, I get what you're saying to go along with it. But Brock, I've watched the
Wish you would have thrown it, but
yeah, the pushback to me with your take though is, I watched Brock throw the ball in the air to a spot where Juwan Jennings went to go catch it. Yeah. So if you see, and Jennings was open at a different place.
Yeah, that was a scramble drill. Yeah.
Yes. So if you see your guy down the field, whether he calls for the ball or not, just throw it. There's nobody there. Literally, you saw the safety. That's a quarterback's dream.
He's not reading the backside safety. So like, again, from a quarterback, like, you don't know what that backside safety, because you were reading left to right.
Okay.
So like, you're sitting here reading left, and you see it. Like, you don't have time to be like, is that other safety coming over? So he's just like, screw it, I'm just going to go through my reads.
But that's weird to say he didn't have time, because he danced. He was dancing like a devil in the pale of moonlight.
I don't think anybody's quote unquote wrong there.
Okay.
Because the system says this is the play, and then you go to this read. And if you don't know, move on. That's just the way the system works. But
understood. Yeah. Listen, totally understand. That was a touchdown. Anyway, Keith Woods, when does Ricky and Kittle come back?
Kittle this week, Ricky next week.
So Ricky will be cleared, hopefully, from the
He's already running routes. He's playing catch on the sidelines.
Correct.
I fully expect him to be back. We've got those extra spots. Maybe that's why.
That's the 2 spots, yes. Yep.
Well, Kittle counts as the 53 now.
Right. But there's still 2 spots. Right.
And then probably Kalia Davis would be that second one, hopefully. Or Feliciano.
Or is it too early to talk Dre Greenlaw? Because he's missed.
Seems like when Kyle was asked about it, he's like, man, I haven't checked in on him in a while. Yeah, I think November's the earliest. Okay. So I think it's too early. I wish, man.
So what happens after week 4? He stays on the PUP?
Yeah, he's got until the end of the season. Like, you could activate him. I think it's week 12 or 13.
Oh,
like, he's got all the time.
So the PUP rules is it's not 4 weeks. You can stay on there long.
Minimum 4 weeks. You can stay on longer.
Got you.
It's Hotel California. You can check out. You just can never leave.
Got you. I wanted to end on a couple of takes from some of the faithful out there.
Takes.
Me too. Steve says, neither Sorensen nor Staley is the answer for DC. Kyle created the situation with how he treated Wilkes, causing no reputable. I never thought about this.
You did treat
Bill
a
Belichick turned it
stalwart.
down.
Yeah, Belichick, he ain't going to be in DC somewhere.
I
Like, that dude,
understand, but I'm just saying he
psycho.
declined. What about Vic Fangio?
Vic Fangio, I don't want him here.
Okay.
And like again, he wants to run his scheme. We're not built for that. Personnel's not built for that.
3-4 to 4-3.
The problem
Gotcha.
was you couldn't fire your DC before the Super Bowl and hire one. So like every 31 out of 32 DC jobs were filled at that time. Like you're not in the hiring whatever. And so I don't know. I like the bringing in Brandon Staley. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, Sorensen's been terrible. Like I could not be more critical of him. I still don't think you should fire him. Yet you need the adjustments. And I think if I'm Kyle, I'm saying, look, dude, you're on the hot seat. You got 2 weeks. You got this week and you got Arizona. If you don't correct some of these things, we're making a shift. I don't think we'll fire them. I think we'll just switch play callers.
Right.
But
Just shift.
it was hard on the short thing. People want to come here. Yeah, you look at how many people have gotten jobs. D'Amico, Robert Saleh, like DCs want to come here. The problem is they all had jobs, and you can't tamper. I mean, we literally called about Steve Spagnuolo, but why would he leave freaking coaching with his best friend and Patrick Mahomes to come here and have Kyle freaking berate you? Like, I wish Kyle would berate people more often, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know on that one.
Antoine D. Lewis, identity is everything. You win and lose with what your system is. I'm not sure we have that on defense and special teams.
1,000%, man. Well said. Antoine, clean.
Before you take us home, John, Joe Griffin ends with this. I'd rather for us to cry now than later. Some of my favorite candy. It's just a little bit of a setback, but we always bounce back to kick.
Some rear end.
Yes, it's like when you use muscles that hasn't been used before. No pain, no gain. That's how I felt today, bro. Oh man, I was like, this motherfucking exercise. Like, you ever cussed out the workout? Like it's the workout's fault. It's really you, but you're cussing out the workout. Like, why this?
I got legs later. I feel you, man.
Yeah, man. You won't be able to walk tomorrow, but yeah, like I get it. John, hope is there. Do you have faith in this team moving forward just this week to get the goddamn job done? I think that's my question for you, John.
I think the 49ers have a quality team. The 49ers are making the playoffs. 7 teams in the NFC. NFC's whatever. Like, you're getting into the playoffs. Like, this roster is getting into the playoffs. The problem is sometimes momentum can go against you so strong that you feel you're worse than you are. This is the job of the captains. This is Nick Bosa. This is Trent Williams. This is Brock Purdy. This is Fred Warner. This is all those guys have to step up and say, look, this is not who we are. We've been through these situations in the past. 2 out of 3 of the last seasons, we were 3-5 and 3-4 and still made the NFC Championship game or better in 2 of those seasons. So, like, you're fine. The pedigree, the culture, all of it's fine. Just be who you are. Do your job, nobody else's job, and go out and capitalize at home against an inferior opponent. It's very simple. Be who you are. So, to all the 49ers fans out there, I understand it feels terrible. Back-to-back losses against bad teams feels terrible, but that's okay. Still got a lot of the season left. I said 12-5 was my roster prediction. But yours was
13-4.
Yeah. Right, 13-4. Man, we still got 3 more losses to get through or 2 more losses to get through. You're fine. Handle your business. You're playing the damn Patriots without Tom Brady. They haven't been good before. They haven't been good since. They're not going to be
Brady
good
has
now.
too. Just wanted people to know that.
That's right, we did. So, anyway, 49ers, we are called the faithful. That is what we are called to be. Faithful then, faithful now. Frustration, critique, always welcome. But we still support the red and gold. And if you don't support this at residency, code SF Breezy, then you short. But for everybody else, stay faithful. We out. Let's get that dub.